man, it's your boy Kiwi, man. We back with another video now. Look, bro, we got jxmmyhighroller. Luka Doncic is the worst defender in the NBA history. I'm not gonna lie, bro, might be right.
What do Trae Young, Jalen
Let's get to it.
Jordan Poole, Zach LaVine, and Jordan Clarkson have in common? They're all guards. They're all good offensive players that can get you a bucket. They're all NBA vets. But there's one other thing that they all share. These five players are
what they share, Jimmy?
The worst defenders in the entire NBA.
Damn.
According to
really? These the worst defenders? Trae Young, I know, fit the script. Jalen, I feel like he low-key be hustling a little bit. Zach LaVine, though. Zach LaVine and Jordan Clarkson, y'all got no excuses. Why y'all the worst defenders in the NBA, bro? Y'all niggas is built, you know, way bigger than these dudes, bro. Like, Jordan Clarkson, bro, you're not even that good of a threat on offense, bro. You shouldn't be clamping shit on defense, if you think about it. Zach LaVine, he's a pretty good offensive threat, but at the same time, bro, where your defense at? I'm not gonna lie. Luka, everybody know Luka can't play defense, though. That's a known fact.
Defenders in the entire NBA.
That is a known fact.
Crafted defensive plus minus. Now, I usually wouldn't go seeking out information like this, but I felt inclined to after the recent onslaught of criticism Luka Doncic has received for his defense. From what is said and what I've seen, I thought Luka would be near, if not at the very bottom of the worst defenders in the league.
No cap.
But no. He's not down there.
That nigga further.
To this one metric, which isn't perfect, but is one of the more elaborate and extensive defensive metrics you can find. Luka Doncic is not the worst defender in the league. Among qualifying players, that title belongs to Jalen Brunson or Trae Young. But if he's not down there, he's got to be nearby. There's Booker, Zion, Banchero.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie,
LeBron.
bro.
I'm seeing some pretty capable names.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. That nigga, what's the name? What's his name, bro? Yo, Pat Bev. That nigga was on Trae Young ass, bro. Like, hey, you the worst defender. You are known to be the worst defender in the NBA, bro. That nigga was not wrong. Like, imagine your title is the worst defender in the NBA, and you're not even that good on fucking like Trae Young's. Don't get me wrong, he's a good offensive threat, but at the same time, no, come on, bro. He's not Curry. He's not Curry. Curry, like,
here, and
he gets slack. Curry's not the greatest defender either, but like
D'Angelo Russell, higher than I would ever expect in my wildest dreams. We are now well clear of the defensive liabilities, and still no Luka in sight. And that's because out of the 375 players who meet minimum requirements this season, Luka Doncic ranks 169th on defense, which is in fact extremely average.
Wow,
he's not terrible.
Better than KD.
And he isn't.
That nigga's a better defender than Hold on, whoa. What metric is this, Jimmy? Luka can't be a better defender than KD now. Now, KD, don't get me wrong. KD could be a lockdown machine, but his arsenal, all his energy goes to offense. And you can't even be mad at that, bro. It's one of the best scorers, if not the best scorer, to touch the basketball, bro. So you can't even be too mad at that, because bro has something to back it up. But at the same time, KD should be locking shit down. Bro's like 7 foot, 8 foot.
Extremely average. He's not terrible. He's not a liability. And he isn't nearly the worst defender of all time.
Wow. Okay. I thought this nigga Luke was going to be the worst defender of all time. I guess not.
Sponsored by SeatGeek.
Nope. W skips in a chat.
For a player to be so good on offense that they could be as bad as they want on defense, and it doesn't even matter.
Yo, nah, Luke. I'm sorry, bro. I get it, bro. But like, yo, my guy.
As bad as they want on defense, and it
my guy. You're not even gonna try to at least swipe at the ball, give him a little bump or something, bro. Like, yo, look at he like. Yo, Luke, this is crazy. It's a crazy look, my guy.
That they could be as bad as they want on defense.
Nah,
and it
Luke.
Doesn't even matter. Scoring and playmaking and controlling the pace of a game on offense.
Can we talk about how bro lost mad weight though? Can we talk about that?
It's the one trait every great player, almost without exception, has in common. But what about the other side of the ball? Defense wins championships. This has been proven time and time again. But can a one-way
That's what every sport, bro.
Scale so much that
football,
he
basketball,
need to be a two-way player to win. In the wake of the Lakers' recent slump, many fans point towards Luka Doncic and his terrible defense as a major factor for the team's struggles. The effort being so non-existent at times that some fans have even called him the worst defender in the league's history.
That nigga Luke left LaMelo open. Like, yo, what the hell? Bro didn't even try to put a hand up, though. Like,
the effort being so non-existent at times that some fans have even called him the worst defender in the league's history.
Wow.
And that a team with a player so one-sided will never find any meaningful success. Luka's defenders, on the other hand, know that he's never been a two-way player. He's an offensive maestro. What he lacks
straight
on
offensive
defense,
badges.
he makes up for and more with his offense. Or at least that's been the theory on Luka's game and his value throughout his entire career. But is this actually the case? Well, I think it's worth asking.
I don't think Luka's a cone. I think he can, if he wants to play defense, he can. He just doesn't want to, bro. That's the thing. And I feel like he thinks he doesn't have to, which he kind of doesn't.
Defensive estimated plus minus has Luka in the 31st percentile league-wide in terms of defensive impact, well within the realm of defensive liability. When it comes to points allowed per 100, Luka is in the 44th percentile. His crafted defensive
Who's the best defender, though? That's the real question.
Average, in the 63rd percentile league-wide, and according to ESPN Analytics, Luka is in the 51st percentile defensively. Turns out that according to most metrics, Luka isn't a bad defender. He's actually average. But defense is notoriously tough to accurately measure. The vast disparity in rankings and results across these different metrics proves that we still haven't figured out how to quantify defense all that well.
Yo, imagine looking at Luke right here, bro. Like, to the naked hooper eye, like, if you just look at this individual right here, you're not thinking Luka is really a hooper for real, bro. Like, this nigga Luka look like a average, somebody you can see in LA Fitness, you know, your friendly neighborhood Y. Like, bro, Luka doesn't look like he's one of those ones, but he's really one of those ones, bro. Like look at the drip, bro. Like, Luka just looks mad normal right here. Like, you wouldn't even expect this out of bro. I'm not gonna lie, he got the sleeper build. Luka got a sleeper build. I'm not gonna lie, Jack.
And another says you're well above average. It's tough to tell which one is accurate, but it does give us a decent snapshot of Luka's defensive impact, which is average. If we chart the top 100 players in the league this season according to their average ranking in league percentile among these catch-all offensive and defensive metrics, then we could get a good idea of who is great on offense, who is great on defense, and who is great on both ends.
I see Yoke.
Are the defensive liability offensive juggernauts: Jalen Brunson, James Harden, Michael Porter Jr., Trae Young, Jamal Murray. Over here
sounds about it. Damn, they got LeBron over there.
Defense without much offense: Gobert, Asar Thompson, Cason Wallace, Isaiah Stewart. And all the way up here are the best two-way players in the league.
Wemby.
Derek White, Jalen Suggs,
fuck,
and
bro. I keep fucking it up. Yo, Wemby and Shaw with the highest offensive and defense rating. They got Chet up there too. Okay. Giannis up there. Okay. That's not bad though. Wemby is low-key number one right now. He just got to get it. What is this? The offensive? Is the offensive vertical or?
Gilgeous-Alexander, who ranks
offensive is vertical
on offense and the 91st percentile on defense. Arguably the best two-way player in the entire league.
Yeah.
So where is Luka in all of this? Right here. In the 98th percentile on offense and the 56th percentile on defense, which even when stacked up against the top 100 players in the league is still far from the worst. In fact, compared to other offensive superstars, Luka is actually a net positive on defense. Steph Curry ranks in the 97th percentile on offense, but only the 25th percentile on defense. Donovan Mitchell, 99th on offense, 36th on defense. Austin Reeves, Luka's own teammate, 97th on offense and 27th
worse on defense than Luke. That makes sense though.
All the way over here as one of the best offensive players in the league, but statistically a cone on defense. Oh, it's Anthony Edwards.
Really?
What about this player?
I thought Anthony Edwards be locking shit up.
A negative on defense. Oh look, it's Jaylen Brown. Despite the reputation he's built for himself and defensive efforts that are at times completely
it's just the crazy clips, bro. Like, when you see that one clip of Luka just sitting there, it's like, bro, like, come on, dude. You're not even trying. But if Luka was actually just trying out there and still getting beat, it's like, you can't be mad at that. You can't really point that shit out and be like, he sucks at defense.
By all accounts, Luka Doncic
to an extent
is not a bad defender. He's painfully average. This, however, has not stopped teams from hunting Luka just about every chance they get. So far this season, Luka ranks 7th in the league in defended field goal attempts. The next closest guard is Derek White, all the way at 22nd.
Number 7.
Staying tough and active on defense wasn't already difficult enough, Luka is defending twice as many shots every game as the average guard.
Okay.
Now, compared to the big
I did not know
men at
that.
the top of this list, Luka is relatively ineffective on defense. On average, his opponents are shooting 3.1% better from the field when he's guarding them. But compare Luka to other elite players that aren't tasked with anchoring a defense, and you'll find that he's a lot more effective on the ball than we're led to believe. More effective than players like Nikola Jokic, Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, LaMelo Ball, Donovan Mitchell, Steph Curry, Jalen Brunson, and 117 other players, to be exact. So far this season, when Luka is on the court, the Lakers give up 118.7 points per 100 possessions.
26 in
when
the
he's
league.
On the court, they give up 118 points per 100 possessions. A difference that is negligible. Compare Luka's neutral impact on defense to the top 15 offensive generators in the league, the players who generate the most points per game through scoring and assists, and Luka is, you guessed it, average. As expected, the best offensive players in the league are usually not all that great on defense. The larger a player's offensive burden is, the less they're asked to do or even have the energy for on defense. According to Cleaning the Glass, among the 15 most impactful offensive players in the league, only 6 of them have teams that perform better on defense when they're on the court versus when they're not. With Luka right in the middle at 7th, and some of these teams completely struggling on defense when their star is on the court. The Timberwolves and Clippers are nearly 10 points worse on defense per 100 possessions with Ant and Harden on the floor. Jalen Brunson is literally the worst defender in the league, with the Knicks nearly 13 points worse on defense when he's on the floor. In a world where there are numerous players around the league,
Jalen Brunson really that? Yo, why nobody talk about that, bro? I really think it's just a clip culture, bro, and like how the way people make clips and, you know, make little short videos and shit. Cause it's like, bro, nobody, like, I really never thought about that shit, but Jalen Brunson low-key do be getting abused on defense. But like nobody really thinks about that shit though. 13 points when he's on the court. That's crazy.
Defense, Luka is one of a few players that gets heavily scrutinized.
Luka's literally right in the middle.
So how does a player who by every conceivable measure is merely average on defense gain this reputation of being not just a bad defender, but one of the worst defenders of all time?
Let's see.
Okay, Luka, to move your feet a little
Damn,
bit
that elbow is fucking crazy though.
Well, what does he do? He just throws up his hand.
Anybody in the NBA and looking up the floor and throwing ahead. Colin Gillespie.
But J.J. Redick, coach of the Lakers, said hoping to have him back this week.
We're going one-on-one, little on big. They're going to go baseline. Doncic. Never been a big point guy.
Yeah, they just the clips, bro.
Allen with an opening. Brings it down to Sensabaugh.
Then you got the sports analysts talking shit too, like. It just influences the media, bro.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, I low-key thought he was about to come here and prove that he really was the worst defender in the NBA.
To make the case that a player isn't a bad defender when stuff like this happens on a regular basis. Luka getting blown by, feet look like they're stuck in mud, complaining about no calls every other possession and forcing his team to play 4-on-5 on the other end, gambling in passing lanes, missing assignments, but more than anything, straight up refusing to even make an effort on some possessions.
Yo, Luke, bro, you can't beat the allegations, bro. That's what I'm talking about though, like shit like this, like when you see shit like this,
refusing to even.
Yo, Luke, bro, you just literally fake tried to go for the ball and just let bro get a free lane to the basket. You'd have been better off just getting back on defense. Like, there's no way you just did that shit, bro. Luke, I'm sorry, but like, what is this?
Gambling in passing lanes, missing assignments, but more than anything.
And then, bro, really, you be thinking you got interceptor? Bro, you don't have the interceptor badge. Luke, stop gambling for passes, my guy. You have no defensive badges whatsoever. I ain't gonna lie, the only defensive badge Luke might have is none. I'm not gonna lie, bro. You have no defensive badges. Like, stop trying to gamble for passes. Get back and actually get back on defense. Like, bro, come on, man. I get it. You're a top offensive player in the league, but at the same time, defense matters too, bro. Defense wins championships.
Reasons why I think Luka's lackluster defense has become the primary topic of conversation is because visually he looks completely uninterested in even playing defense at times. He has the tools to be a good defender. Great size for his position. He's strong, quick hands, great IQ and court awareness, and yet he puts in just enough effort to be, at best, average. One of the more random but insightful metrics the NBA keeps track of is the average speed a player moves at throughout a game, both on offense and defense. And among the 324 players who average at least 15 minutes a game this season, take a wild guess at who falls at the bottom of the league when it comes to speed on defense. If you said James Harden, well then kudos to you. That's a fantastic guess and you're right.
Wow.
Right above him, as the second slowest player
Nah, James Harden definitely don't be moving on defense.
Is Luka Doncic.
Damn.
41-year-old LeBron and a lumbering Joel Embiid with one good knee. Getting scored on or giving up an easy bucket is one thing. Refusing to even put in the effort to stop a bucket is another. The outrage for Luka's defense is not all about the results. No reasonable fan should expect Luka to be a lockdown defender. That's not his role. The outrage is in the fact that he doesn't even try. And if only he did, he could be a good contributing defender. Catch Luka at the right time, and he looks like a
bro might have a little
who can guard 1 through 4 with some of the best post defense.
Never mind. He don't got no badges. I lied.
Catch him the other 70% of the time, and you'd think the guy has lead in his shoes. Per 36 has a metric called the Hustle Index that accounts for things like the number of box outs, charges drawn, contested shots, deflections, and other factors to measure a player's hustle throughout a game. Luka Doncic ranks 187th out of the 250 qualifying players. But Luka's lack of effort on defense may be just as overstated as his effectiveness on defense, because ranked right below him on the Hustle Index is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Zubac, and Giannis, and Cam Johnson, Lou Dort, Stephon Castle, and other players who clearly put in effort on the defensive end of the court.
Russell for sure. Hell yeah.
Of Luka being a cone on defense, there's about 10 possessions they won't show you of him playing sound, high-energy, disciplined defense.
Yeah.
As much as we'd like to see the stars of our league not only have the ability, but also the drive to be elite on both ends of the floor, the reality is Luka's defensive mediocrity has more to do with his role on the court than it does his actual ability or willingness to be elite on that side of the floor. In a perfect world, a team star player would be great on both ends. But in today's NBA, building around and relying on a one-way superstar may be less of a choice. And
bro, the amount of games they play in a season, to ask for a star player to give you everything they got, drop a 30-plus game on offense, and then turn around and lock shit up all game on defense, bro, that's a lot of work, bro. I low-key feel like the NBA needed low-key, like, make it so they play less games. Because, like, they play, like, 80-something games, almost 90 games, bro. You can't do that back-to-back nights. Like, your superstars are going to get worn out, bro. He going to get injured. He going to be tired. Like, that's why they don't be playing defense, for real. That's why nobody really plays defense in the NBA, for real.
On both offense and defense, then there aren't 20 two-way stars in the league. There aren't 10
no defense kind of looks like it's better offense in a way.
There's 2.
More highlights.
2 players in the entire league that are true two-way stars.
Yeah.
But what if we widen our scope of elite two-way players to at least the 80th percentile league-wide on both ends of the floor? Well, then there's
Victor and Shai
who meet those requirements. 450 players in the NBA, 9 of them who you could consider to be great on both offense and defense. Demanding that an offensive mastermind also be more than just okay on defense shouldn't be too much to ask, but the best players in the NBA almost exclusively create their value.
Cooper Flag about to be up here soon, I feel like.
Defense. And whether it's a lack of physical
Cooper Flag might be a two-way.
Or by design, players who can give you both are extremely rare. Is Luka truly the worst defender of all time? No. Is he the worst defender in the league? Not even close. When he puts in the effort, he's actually a good defender. And when he doesn't, he's terrible. And contrary to the scathing narrative that is built around him, Luka's defense is somewhere in between these two extremes. Not great, not bad, but merely average. And just like every other defensively mediocre star in the NBA who doesn't receive nearly
he just got a lot of clips where he's not trying.
As long as he remains just okay on defense, what he brings on the offensive end almost always makes up for what he lacks defensively.
No cap.
You don't have to take my word for it. Here are the top 100 players in the league, charted according to the number of points they generate on offense minus the points they give up on defense. So, for example, if a player creates 30 points a game through scoring and assists, but they give up 15 points on the defensive end, they would be a plus 15 on this chart. Unlike most net ratings, this gives us a look at a player's total impact based on individual performance and matchups, as opposed to the impact they had on their team's performance. And among these players, you'll find some great defenders. Chet Holmgren, Jalen Duren, Bam Adebayo, Derek White. But because of the inherent value of great offense, the closer you get to the top of this list, the more more you'll begin to see the offensive-heavy players. Peyton Pritchard, MPJ, Banchero. They give up more than
Yeah,
you
the
like on
offense
defense,
pans
their
out, bro.
offense still makes them a large net positive in the end. Despite giving up
LeBron,
16 points a game on defense, Austin Reeves generates
Trey,
43 points a game.
Kevin Durant,
plus 26.7. James Harden generates over 45 points a game and only gives up about 13.5 on defense. But all the way at the top are the players who create the largest surplus of points in the entire league.
Where the fuck Wemby at? I don't see Wemby. Nah, I don't see Wemby.
Jokic, who gives up the most points per game in the entire
34.4.
league, but is also the greatest offensive engine of all time. Cade Cunningham,
I see Wemby, 21.3
points a night while only giving up about 15. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who has a sizable gap on everyone as the MVP frontrunner and one of the best two-way players in the league. Where does the liability himself, Luka Doncic, stack up in all of this? He's right here, creating so much offense.
Luke got #1. Wow. Hey, this is a good ad video. Hey, so bro, offense really just negates the defense. It's really just the clips, bro. It's really just him not trying. Like when he actually just doesn't try, that makes him look bad on defense, bro.
He'll take his average defense every single time.
That's crazy. Hey, bro, good breakdown by Jimmy, man. Hey, original video down below in the description. Let me know what y'all think about that video, man. WVid.